Somebody working for General Motors in their Cruise division, their autonomous vehicle division, is letting the cat out of the bag. I don't know if they're going to be fired or not. I mean, if General Motors find out who they are, I mean, certainly they were going to fire them. But they're saying that General Motors let the Cruise autonomous vehicles out of the bag too early. They're buggy and they don't work properly. And let's be honest, if we look at what just happened in San Francisco, they do have a point. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. As many of you know, I can't wait. I can't wait for autonomous vehicles. If you're my wife, you would have heard this from me so many times. When there's autonomous vehicles this, when there's autonomous vehicles that, when there's autonomous vehicles I can do that, I can go to sleep, I can do, I love the future of the planet because so many things are going to change, right? So many options are going to be available to us. So many more things we'll be able to do. For me, I spend a lot of time driving when I take my boys to BMX races or when I go on trips, surf trips, those sorts of things. But if I can get in a car, go to sleep and wake up, get out, go take my boys racing or go for a surf, that to me is what I call living the dream. And if the Cybertruck has it when it comes out, boy, will I be happy. Now, of course, Tesla's version of full self-driving is completely different to what General Motors and Cruise are using with their autonomous vehicles, which are in operation right now. Cruise vehicles are geofenced with mapping. You need to be able to have up-to-date digital maps in their system to use those vehicles on those roads, but they can only be used on those mapped roads. Whereas, of course, Tesla and Xpeng's way of addressing this issue is very, very different. They're looking at this as, the system should be able to learn and drive anywhere based on its ability to understand its environment, not its ability to read maps. So, different approaches. And you can see Tesla's having teething problems. So is Xpeng. So is everyone, actually. And so in particular are Cruise with their challenges recently when they had a group of these vehicles take themselves off of their own accord, meet up in a street, block the entire street, and just sit there. This reminds me of Skynet. I mean, surely you've seen Terminator, Skynet takes over. These cars just had a mind of their own. They had a mind of their own and they did what they wanted to do. Now this happened in San Francisco and Cruise acknowledged the issue. They couldn't really not, right? They said it was caused by a technical problem, but they did not say what that technical problem was. However, it seems this recent incident may be just the tip of the iceberg, at least according to an anonymous letter that was written by one of Cruise's employees. TechCrunch got hold of this letter, and while it can't verify whether or not the person is really a Cruise employee or not, so they might not be, the problems cited by the supposed employee are consistent with some of the things I've been hearing about since this service began taking paying passengers without a safety driver aboard the vehicle. The source says that the employee noted the consensus within the company was employees generally do not believe we are ready to launch to the public. This is what employees are saying apparently, but there is fear of admitting this because of expectations from leadership and investors. Now, this is the kind of thing we'd say about Elon Musk, isn't it? We'd say employees are under pressure. They feel like they don't want to say that this is not ready to launch because they feel like they don't want to disappoint Elon Musk. And then we'd say Elon's a big baddie and he's a big billionaire baddie and he's out to get everyone and he doesn't want to let you join the union. But we really let General Motors off the hook or Ford off the hook when we hear these kinds of things, right? It's probably fair that we treat all companies the same. And if this is true, then the same consequences should apply to management in this situation as what would apply to Tesla when the media crucify Tesla, which they do often. Now, Cruise does say safety is a top priority for the company. And this is backed by an internal survey which polled some 2,000 employees and 94% of them agreed with that. The employee, who claims he's been with the company for many years and that the work environment at this company is chaotic, said this: currently, as of May 2022, with regularity, there are incidents where our San Francisco fleet of vehicles individually or in clusters enters a VRE or vehicle retrieval event. When this occurs, a vehicle is stranded, often in lanes where they are blocking traffic and potentially blocking emergency vehicles. Sometimes it is possible to remotely assist the vehicle with safely pulling over, but there have been some cases where fallback systems have also failed and it was not possible to remotely maneuver the vehicle outside of the lanes they were blocking until they were physically towed from that location to another facility. Cruise is currently being investigated by California Public Utilities Commission, CPUC, which is the institution responsible for issuing permits for companies to allow them to have vehicles that operate on public roads without a driver. However, the General Motors owned company said is fully cooperating with the CPUC and is open to sharing any information. So, in my view, this is just another little speed bump, a hiccup, one of those things where the world, we have to go through this to get to autonomous vehicles being a thing, to being common, to being readily accepted, to being a technology that works all the time. This is going to happen. It's going to happen in Tesla vehicles. It's going to happen in General Motors vehicles. It's going to happen in any vehicle you care to name. So honestly, I'm actually not that worried. I'm not that worried that this has happened in General Motors vehicles. And frankly, I'm actually impressed, if anything, by the United States' ability to say, you know what? This is the technology of the future. Here in Australia, you know what we'd do? We would ban them forever. That's what our government is like. We are regulated on every little thing you can imagine. And if something goes wrong once, we ban everything forever. Everyone must be safe and wrapped in a bubble, in a cocoon, and nothing bad should ever be able to happen to you. God forbid, nothing should ever be able to happen. But in the US, you guys, one of the key reasons I believe you have so many successful companies is your ability to push the boundaries. Now, I know I'm sounding like I'm being pro-GM now, but I'm not. I'm actually being pro-American entrepreneurialism. It is this kind of spirit where you people go, you know what? Something happened. Something didn't work. Let's fix it and try again. Let's not ban it. Let's find out what the problem was. So let's support it. Let's support GM with their efforts with Cruise. Let's support Tesla with their efforts with their autonomous technology, and even Waymo with their efforts as well. I'm not a big fan of Google, the company, but there you have it. You know what? The Chinese are working very hard on their autonomous technology. Now, fortunately, America is as well. We wouldn't want China to have all the fun when they own most of the manufacturing industry, which they inevitably will. So at least the US will have autonomous driving, or at least I think they will. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for watching.